Being a black man in America isn't easy. The hunt is on. And you're the prey.
Yeah. Rusty Shook. P-Rock. Put your fists in the air. Yeah. One crime for your mind. What up? Let's go. Put your fists in the air for black power. Sleepwalkers, time to wake up. It's that hour to break chains and relearn the real truth. Actual, factual, backed up with real proof. Our history, fuck his story. He slaughtered the indigenous people for his glory. So how's the oppressor gonna tell the oppressed how to speak about oppression? Speak to the Western. My skin is a weapon of white eyes. The black man exposing these white lies. Legalize being black in America. We still slaves, that's a fact in America. The black man take a knee, they all riot. The black man take a bullet, they all quiet. Poison in the water, poison in the food. Put poison in your mind through that motherfucking tube. Black people, the war is on and you're the prey. No time to pray, bang, I'm gon' spray. Black people, the war is on and you're the prey. No time to pray, bang, I'm gon' spray. What we gon' do? Fight back. What we gon' do? Fight back. What we gon' do? Fight back. When they hit, we strike back. What we gon' do? Fight back. What we gon' do? Fight back. When they hit, we strike back. When they hit, we fight back. What we gon' do? Fight back. Put your fists in the air for black power. Flags red, black, green in the air. It's that sour. Hemp plants cure 32 cancers. They're killing us. Chemotherapy is not the answer. Fuck America KKK. They pushing that agenda hard. It's gay. When they say go back to Africa, it's funny, I swear. Cause we the Native Americans who were already here. Yo, Columbus brought genocide, rape, and torture. Contrary from what your teachers in your textbooks torture. Terrence Butcher needed assistance. Instead, they took his existence in an instant. Hands in the air, they don't care, they squeezing. Black people is big game in this open season. Fuck that. When we unite, it's a rap form. I'ma bust more than a motherfucking rap form. Black people, the war is on and you're the prey. No time to pray, bang, I'm gon' spray. Black people, the war is on and you're the prey. No time to pray, bang, I'm gon' spray. What we gon' do? Fight back. What we gon' do? Fight back. What we gon' do? Fight back. When they hit, we strike back. What we gon' do? Fight back. What we gon' do? Fight back. When they hit, we strike back. When they hit, we strike back. What we gon' do? Fight back. Fight back. Yeah. Salute. Strike back. To all my kings and queens. All my melanated people. Fight back. Fight back. Yeah. Strike back. Strike back. Fight back, fight back.
All right, let me get you in here, Satep. Let's see. Loud talk. Promote the panel. Peace, brother Satep. You in here? Brother Satep.
Peace, Kofi.
What's happening, man?
All right,
y'all finna get started. We finna get started, y'all. I liked that song, wanted to play that song. I don't agree with all the stuff that he was saying in the video, but most of it, I do. Pretty raw video, so I just open the show up with the video. Y'all give me just a second. I'm finna get ready to get started. Something I put together a little over a month ago. Ain't gonna hold y'all too much. Trying to share the show for a few platforms. Give me just a second. We'll jump into it. Go to
Man in the full knowledge of himself.
All right. Yeah, let me get back to the other screen and we'll jump into it. Okay. Come on out of here. Go back in here. All right. Well, first I want to say peace, Black African Power, ETM Hotel, Dua Duau, Dua Aku, Dua Netcha, Fatmu Alafiye, Fatmu Iwariri, Majuba Iba E Ilakba, Majuba Iba E Ilakba, Majuba E Igungun, Majuba E Igungun. I always want to give honor and praises to the ancestors, because without the ancestors, we wouldn't be here. We are our ancestors. I always, again, like I said, I always had to give honor and praise to the ancestors and the true living elders according to African traditions. Look like it's just me and Satep today. Brother Satep, you got anything, man, before we get started? And peace to those in the chat, overstanding daily. Omega Sunlight, peace, brother. Peace, brother Jadar, peace. Julanda, peace. Brother Ibibo, peace from West Africa. If y'all don't mind, could y'all please help me share the show? I was trying to share the show real quick, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the thing. Ain't gonna hold y'all too long. But brother Satep, you got anything, man, before I jump into it?
Nah, man. I'm ready. So go ahead and dive on in.
All right, then. And like I say, y'all please like the show. Please share the show with people that y'all think that may appreciate this presentation. Again, I'm gonna try not to keep y'all too long. It's just something I did about a month and a half ago. I'll explain it as I get further. Next slide. But anyway, hold on. Let me turn off my camera because I can see my face at the top of the icon thing. So peace, LB, peace. Let me turn my camera off. All right, turn the camera off. So, all right, this presentation is called "What is the first thing that pops up in your mind when you think of Africa, and what do Africa offers to help sustain other countries?" Again, what is the first thing that pops up in your mind when you think of Africa, and what do Africa offer to help sustain other countries? Okay, can I go to the next slide? Let me go down here. All right, I always have to put a disclaimer out here before I get started. My disclaimer is I am not a teacher, but merely a student sharing information, and that information provided is for the educational purpose only. If you are in doubt, do the research or have it verified by someone qualified. I reserve the right to change the focus of this presentation to shut down, sell, or exchange the terms or use at my own discretion. Our trademark, design rights, copyrights, registers, names, mottos, logos, avatars, the signals, and marks are used or cited by this website or the property of their respective owners. I reserve the right to add information as it comes available or adapt changes, improve information as it comes available in the future. Input wanted, changes, additions, deletions are encouraged. As I learned, we all learn. This is an important saying to me. I think this is an important saying or an important statement. As I learn, we all learn. And as I continue to learn and grow, I'm going to continue to share the information, pass the information down to the family. Let's get this culture. This is another statement by me that I like, that I think is a powerful statement. We need to, as I continue to do these presentations, I'm going to continue to give y'all culture, because our culture have been under attack for centuries. A lot of us don't know our culture, don't know where we come from. So I'm here to continue to spread our culture and our traditions, to highlight our culture and our traditions. All right, here is our Facebook page. My Facebook page before I get started, I screenshotted this. the presentation got started. I put this presentation together actually right after I did the post later on today. A lot of my presentation lately has been either discussions I have been had with folks or things I may have seen on Facebook. I don't quite go back and forth with people on Facebook. If I see things on Facebook that may be misleading or misinformation, I either address it by doing a presentation, or I address it by doing an article, putting things on paper. You know what I'm saying? So either do presentation or article. And a lot of my presentation has been either, like I say, the discussions I've been having personally with someone, or something I may have heard someone say, or something that I may have seen on YouTube. Well, I'm not going to say YouTube because I don't know how to watch a lot of other YouTube videos unless it's Monster Warrior Clan, MBK, and a few other ones that I may be missing. Search for Yahoo. So, but anyway, most of them comes off of Facebook. So I just got to thinking about um, some of the conversations I have had in the past. I don't know what made me particularly start thinking about those conversations on September the 9th. So I made a post. I'm gonna read the post. And this post is what sparked me to put this presentation together. It was, okay, family, if you stay in another country and not in the United States of America, and this country you stayed in show you in the hard ghettos, poor neighborhoods, a lot of people sleeping on bus stop benches, boxes, and under the bridges in the United States of America, and constantly over and over show you these few places that don't make up the entire United States of America. On the news, in the movies, in schools, most of you will not uh, want to come to the United States, right? Now, look, this is what they have done in the United States of America. It's shown us the bad and poor parts of Africa, and you knowing damn well that the entire continent of Africa don't look like that. Africa has over 50 plus countries, and they are beautiful. Black man and black woman, our motherland sustains the whole world. Most of the minerals we need come out of the ground, i.e., natural gas, oil, coltan, a mineral that is in your smartphone, copper, nickel, uranium, graphite, diamonds, gold, coal, platinum, aluminum, bauxite, etc. Family, let's not let the lies and propaganda stop us from visiting, vacationing, or repatriating to the motherland. Now, this is what started it again, this presentation. And again, just the conversations that I have had in the past on how our own people look at our motherland. They look at it in a derogatory or negative fashion because of the lies and the propaganda that has been pushed. They only show one particular area of Africa, or don't even show why this particular area looked the way that is looked through colonialism, through colonialism, the European or the Arab coming in and destroying the government, and so forth, are pushing certain different African ethnic groups off into the bush, that has pushed them off the land or starved them by taking away their natural resources, or et cetera, or bringing certain types of diseases into the land. They don't tell you all these things, but so again, and here's this meme here that I put up, as I was saying, that through propaganda, through lies, they have programmed our people to think that the motherland, our motherland, or the people in Africa are primitive people, or cave-like people, are not intellectual people. So they push this type of narrative, and they show these types of images um, through the news, you know what I'm saying, through the education, through movies, and etc., showing one side and not the own side. That's why I put in my post, if you do not live in the United States, in the country that you stayed in, push these certain types of images in the country that you belong to, then you would think the United States of America uh, was a place where nothing but killers, are people that may not be intellectual, uh, place that may be just tore up from the floor. So here is just a lit meme, meanwhile in Africa, here is an individual here. I'm going to Colorado. This guy is for to leave and go to Colorado. Here is a lady here. Are you crazy? You know what they do? They shoot people in schools and movie theaters constantly. It's so dangerous. You're going to die. Don't go, you stupid idiot. I just thought this was kind of funny, and it's pushing it to what I was saying. If you was in another country, and they was showing you certain bad things that was going on here, constantly showing you people shooting each other in the schools, in the movies, showing you how we have a lot of people living up under bridges, poor neighborhoods, because we know if we go into a lot of the Black communities, there are a lot of poor neighborhoods, windows shot out or windows not there, homes falling apart, and etc. They continue to push these images, then you would think that's all the United States has to offer. But anyway, let's get started. So what is the first thing that pops up in your mind when you think of Africa? Now, again, this is the name of the presentation. What is the first thing that pops up in your mind when you think of Africa, and what do Africa has to offer the whole world? A lot of people just having conversations again with people. If the word Africa is mentioned, it's two different images that may pop up in particular people's heads. Some people, most of the people that I may conversate with, the images of what I'm about to show you, this is what may pop up in their head. But this is a question for everybody in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you, like most people, you'll probably have two basic images of Africa, as I stated. Two people, it just all of according to who you may be talking to, they may have this certain type of image. You know what I'm saying? Either you think of something like this: the Great Pyramids of Giza, the oldest and largest of the three pyramids of Giza, and the Acropolis. We know that these pyramids are built by Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. These are the three great pyramids of Giza. All right. So this is an image that you may see. This is an image. If I was asked that question, what is the first thing that may pop up in your head, or what are the few things that may pop up in your head when you think of Africa? Now, this may be to those that may be a little bit more educated, and I'm not going to even just use these may be the images that may pop up in the so-called social media conscious community, because a lot of those people don't read in the conscious community, or well, those people in the conscious community are illiterate as well. Those people in the conscious community, social media community, suffer from the same thing most of our families suffer from, and that is parakeeting. And what I mean by parakeeting, most of our people grow up in the churches. So a lot of our people in the churches, they don't study. They just particularly parakeet what their pastor or their minister is saying without going to verify what this individual is saying. So they just parakeet information. And this is the parakeet complex that I call it. And the parakeet complex have trickled over into the conscious community. Long as you talk with such proper rhetoric and you talk intelligent, then therefore you must be intelligent. Therefore, the information is not flawed. So don't have to go back and verify anything that you're saying. I can just parakeet what you're saying, and what you're saying is to be law. But this is one of the images that pop up in my head when I think of Africa. All right, this is another image that may pop up in people's mind. They may think of grassy area with animals. Here is a giraffe. So a lot of people may think giraffes. You know what I'm saying? That may pop up in the head when you someone mentions what's the name. Lion is another image that may pops up in someone's head. And again, I'm going to show you all kinds of images, but these are particular images of some people that when mention Africa, they may pop up. These are another image. I just put the young Koro women here. These people are from are out of the Sudan, the Koro people. I also did a marvelous presentation. Welcome to the Omo Valley. These people are in the Omo Valley. So tribes. Here is another individual from the Koro tribe here in the Omo Valley. So you may think of people, tribes, paintings, different types of headwear, different type of beaded necklaces. Or you may think of something like this. This may be another image. This is the image here that some people may think, and this image is most of the image that most of our people that particularly I talk to that has been programmed by the lies and the propaganda through the churches, the mosques, the synagogues, through our educational system, through TV, movies, commercials, um, news, media outlets, and etc. has been programmed that this is what the entire continent of Africa that may look like. And even they may not even tell you why certain areas look like certain areas. Again, a lot of these areas started to look like this through colonialism, through the European, the Arab coming in and destroying the country, the government pushing certain ethnic groups into the bush. So yeah, push certain people into the bush, taking away their resources and starving some of these particular ethnic groups to death. So this is the image that people may look at. Here is another image you may look at. We know that they are warring over there now. They think this is what it's all about now. We warring and we killing each other. These different terrorist groups are formed in Africa. So this is another image that they may push and people may think of when maybe the first thing that pops up in someone's head when they think of Africa. Here is another image here. You know what I'm saying? Starving Africans, and this is what you see in the commercials that I seen. I don't too much see them too much as much on TV, but I know when I was growing up, this is the image that I seen a lot growing up. So this is what I thought Africa has to offer was hungry, pot-bellied, or defested area in Africa, the European coming over there to try to assist and try to save those people in Africa. So this is another picture of propaganda that they pushed while I was growing up. I mean, constantly, over and over. I seen these type of commercials, save, donate to Africa, you know what I'm saying, blase, etc. and etc. But never did they tell why these particular kids or people in this particular area may have pot bellies or may be starving. They don't tell what actually happened to this country or what happened to this particular ethnic group in order for them to be starving to death. See, they don't tell you all that, you know what I'm saying? So, but we understand why they paint these certain types of narratives, why they push this certain type of lie and propaganda, because they don't want us to understand Africa. They don't want you to understand your power. They don't want you to understand you come from greatness. They don't want you to understand when you think of intelligence or intellect, you think of this motherland. They don't want you to understand that all humanity came from Africa. They don't want you to understand that you are a great mind and you created certain types of things. When we talk about animal husbandry, we talk about astrology or arithmetic or geometry or engineering and etc., which I can keep going on, agriculture and etc. They don't want you to understand how great that you are. So they push this type of narrative. And most of our people, when we think of Africa, we think of this negative and derogatory thing because of the news and the media outlet. Here is another one, another starving baby. This may be another image that may constantly pop up in some of our people head. And again, this is through propaganda, through lies. Also, protesting. protesting against the lack of service. This is a protest against the lack of service in Alexandria. So, and we know that they are over there protesting for certain particular things that may be going on in their certain and their government. Now they're not getting certain things in their government. The government turned their back because the Europeans have come in and did certain things, and now they are offering the government certain types of benefits if they do this certain types of things in order to benefit the European or certain countries that may be coming in. So you see a lot of this they make. So this may be an image that may pop up in some of our people minds. All right. And slide 7 through 11 represents good images of Africa, safari, colorful tribes, and the Egyptian pyramids. It's the stuff we see on National Geographic. So I showed you 7 through 11, those particular slides, people that when you mention Africa, these may be certain things that may come up. Again, safari, which I showed you, the safari, colorful tribes, which I showed you, the Cairo people. To me, they're particularly the most colorful tribe in Africa, but that's my own opinion, you know what I'm saying? And to go back and look at the presentation, Welcome to the Omo Valley with the Cairo people, I think that is either on this channel, Kofi Paisai TV, or on Masi Warrior Clan. Just type in Kofi Paisai, Welcome to the Omo Valley with the Cairo people, and it'll pop up either Kofi Paisai TV or Masi Warrior Clan. And you understand why I say the most colorful tribe. So you'll see what I'm talking about if you hadn't already looked at the presentation. Egyptian pyramids, you know, this is a lot of things that pop up when we people mention Africa, and it's just certain particular people that these images that may pop up in the head. Then in 13 through 16 represent bad images of Africa: war, famine, poverty, pestilence, and procure. It is the stuff we see on CNN and the fatal dark continent. So again, these news outlets, these medias, through the movie and Hollywood, through the educational system, even with Christianity and religion, it also tries to paint a bad image on Africa. So they show you these particular places, and they continue to feed you these certain types of images. They continue to feed you these certain types of images until your programmer, you no longer want to go to Africa because you think the motherland has nothing to offer, or that the Atlantic kidnapping trade was the best thing to happen to our ancestors. We have no type of value. We did not offer anything to the world when we offer so much to the world, and so much was stolen from our people. So I just wanted to kind of show those images before we go any further. Two different sides, because again, I may can go talk to one of my co-workers, and they may have a lot of negative and bad images about Africa. Then I may go talk to someone in the social media conscious community that may have these great and powerful images about Africa. But again, some of those people in the conscious social media community are the same thing. They don't read, you know what I'm saying? They buy into certain things as well. So all right, most of the uniform African Americans don't vacation to Africa. It's not even a thought. And again, it is because of the bad images that has been constantly put through their heads. The media doesn't cover the mundane. It's not thrilling to report about the hundreds and millions of Africans who did not wake up in the refuge camps, who have never seen a giraffe or lion in their life, and who are eating so much that they are getting fat. And again, this doesn't make the ratings. This doesn't get you the ratings. This doesn't get the viewership. You know what I'm saying? So we have to. So they have to hit you with these ridiculous things, or these negative things. And even reading this even goes back. You know, and I know a lot of people may say, "Man, brother, you always attacking a social media conscious community." You know what I'm saying? And you know, I do. It's a lot of things in the conscious community. It's the same stuff. I can go where I grew up at. I can go right to Italy, that they call Italy Cartel. They call Italy Cartel that for a reason. And this area that I grew up in, was an area where you had to fight all the time. You walk outside, you got crackheads walking the streets, you got drug dealers serving, you got fightings going on. You got people shooting. You know, at an early age, I seen 2 people get killed at an early age, right where right where I was at. Uh, um, People getting robbed, at an early age. And so all these things, I see the same stuff that I tried to get away and come into this community. I see the same thing that go on. So it's about viewership today. The same thing with the news media. That's why they feed you this bad and derogatory thing. The same thing. Our country's community brothers and sisters do the same thing. They feed you all this negative stuff for the viewership. It's all about viewership these days. But anyway, this is why um, we don't want to go vacation to the motherland. This is one reason why we don't want to repatriate back to the motherland, because of the lies and the propaganda and the bad images that they constantly have shown us through time, and are still showing our kids, and even educate our kids that we have no value. And if it wasn't for the kidnapping trade, then we'll still be living primitive. But that is not the case. They don't show you where, they don't tell you that a lot of these Greeks, when you talk about Pythagoras, Euclid, um, Amenex, and all these other Greek philosophers that they teach us about in school, where did they actually was educated at? You know what I'm saying? Which in Africa. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell them about the Temple of Mazion, a place that a lot of these Greek philosophers came, which you get the word museum from the word Mazion, who was an annex building in North Africa. This is a whole, that's a whole nother story. But anyway, let's go on. It's a shame that we almost never see long interviews with such troubled Africans to hear their out. At least their voices are somewhat captured by the media, since they passed the microphone long enough for Africa to say, I'm hungry, send me aid. Right, that's the only thing that they do. They're not going to give the mic long enough so these people that are in these areas, these poor areas, the same way if we go in America, poor areas where we got people that are homeless, sleeping on benches, sleeping in boxes, sleeping up under the things. Or we go into certain communities where people are still starving, and they're not giving them enough time to tell them why they are hungry, why their country look the way it look, or why their certain area look a certain way, or why they are living off in the bush, or why they have these certain types of diseases. What is unheard is the vast majority of Africans who go about their day without any crises and who do not live in the mud huts. The media is not going to cover that. Again, it's about, pushing our people not to understand who they are and where they come from, and to keep them away from them, and to keep them in a domicile area where we feel like we have to depend on those who do not look like us. Plus, it's not appealing enough, and it's not going to get them viewership. So they don't go talk to the people, the majority of the people in Africa, which Africa is a continent, not a country, but a continent. And Africa is the most beautiful place, but we'll get more into that in a presentation. So they don't go to these people. When was the last time a TV camera went into a middle-class African home, which has electricity and running water, and asked folks how they live, how their lives are? When was the last time a TV show has captured well-dressed Africans, yet most of them initially well-dressed, and learned about how the dating life is there? You're not going to see the media coverage cover that at all. It doesn't happen because it doesn't sell. It's uninterested TV executive thinks. However, Americans would find it quite interesting that most Africans don't live in trees, and that they don't have Boko Harams constantly on their butts. Our extreme images of Africa are not the only thing that is wrong with our view on Earth's hottest continent. We also have the tendency to always focus on the same countries, even though there are 54 African countries. Here is an image in Logo, Nigerian, West Africa. I know a lot of our people, when we think of Africa, they think of mud huts. They think of huts. They think of people living in trees. But they have houses in Africa, nice houses in Africa. So we're going to show the good images as well as the bad images. So here is a nice home in Logo, Nigeria, which is in West Africa. Here is another home. This is in Accra, Ghana. This is also in West Africa, but this is in Ghana, another country in West Africa. So you see these homes here. So they have nice homes. So you can block out those people living in mud huts, living in trees, living in caves, or whatever the images that they have pushed that this is all is in Africa. No. Here is Luanda. This is Angola. This is in Central Africa. You can see these complexes here, these nice complex homes here. So this is in Central Africa. So they do have houses in Africa. Now I'm showing you again the good images because we have been pushed with lies and propaganda all of our lives, again, through the media, through news, through movies, through the education system, through the religions that we had no choice, that we was brought up in, etc. Here is another. There is in South Africa. This is Soweto. So here is another home. So I'm covering all of the areas. South Africa, East Africa, North Africa, Central Africa, and etc. Showing you that they have homes all over Africa, nice homes, and a lot of people do not live in mud huts, trees, caves, or whatever you may say that those people or our people in Africa have. Well dressed. You can see this is a woman in Nigeria. She's a well dressed. This woman is not running around with a cloth tied to her waist, damn near butt naked, with no shoes and etc. on. These are some with bones in their nose. You know how they push, even with the cartoons. Now that I think about it, even in the cartoons, they push bad images. You know, you watch some of the cartoons I know growing up, they showed and I can't remember what cartoon this was, but I showed every time they mentioned or they showed someone black or they showed something in Africa, they show a dark black individual with big red lips, lip ponytail or dreads tied up on the top of the head, and a bone through the nose, and running around in Africa like he's primitive, and big cooking pot, you know what I'm saying, cooking other human beings. So this is even in the cartoons, you know, they were pushing propaganda, you know, already trying to program and condition our kids that Africa has nothing to offer. Here is Ivory Coast. Here, this is two well-dressed men here with the nice suits on here, so they're not running around naked in the woods. Here, Accra. This is the Accra Mall. It's the shopping center. This is in Accra. This is in Ghana. So you can go visit these different places, and they have malls if you want to go and shop. And so Africa has malls, shopping malls. Where this is a mall in Accra. Here, Accra, Ghana. Here is another mall. And you can see here, you see my cursor, they have a Kentucky Fried Chicken in Africa. So you don't have to run around, you know, people thinking that we eating each other, you know, because that's the propaganda they push, that Africans are cannibals and we run around sacrificing each other and we eating each other. We running around just grabbing animals and ripping them apart and eating in blood running down our, you know. So here is another mall. This is the Mariner Mall. This was constructed and owned in Mara Market. This is also in Ghana, which belongs to the Marion Group. So here is another, if you want to go somewhere and shop, and then, you know, if you homesick and you want some fried chicken, they got a KFC here in Ghana. Where's that? Here is another one. The West Hill Mall is located in Dunkani, where Wajal along the Accra Cape Coast Highway of the Great Accra region of Ghana. This is also another mall in Ghana. Ghana has a lot of malls, y'all. So this is the West Hill Mall in Ghana. Here is the Gateway Theater of Shopping. This is in South Africa. So here is a mall in South Africa. You say, wait. You see here, you see white family is also going into the mall. There's a lot of people, a lot of white Europeans that lives in South Africa. It has been there for quite a while now too. Victorian V and A waterfront, Cape Town Central AM. This is also in South Africa. So here's another shopping mall uh, front here. Again, you can see black Africans, and you can see the white European counterparts. Again, the Europeans are all in South Africa, and again, they have been there for quite a while. Here is a university. Yes, Africa has universities. Again, they have taught us that when you think of this land, that they are primitive, our ancestors or our people over there are primitive. No. Again, when you, even in the education system, they program our kids to depend on them and not themselves. So that's why they push the slavery narrative. You know what I'm saying? On our kids, you know what I'm saying? And that's why we'll run around making a statement, man, I'm gonna take my car to the white man. I'm gonna go over here to the white man. I'm gonna go over here to the white woman, and we'll value their opinion or we'll value their information more than we'll value. I may have told my partner the same thing that this white European told him, but he's gonna go off his words instead of my words when I told him this 3 weeks ago. You see what I'm saying? So they teach them to value other people's opinion, and people that look like them, they are not then they don't have any type of intellect capacity. They are not intellectual. But again, when you think of intellectuals, you have to think of Africa. When I think of intellectuals, I think of people who are educators, I think of scientists. So, and even when I think of scientists, I don't think of white women and men with white coats on. I don't think of that. And I don't think of Europe. I think of Africa when I think of science. So again, this is the universities of Pretoria. This is in South Africa here. So Africa do have universities. They do have schools over there in Africa. Here is the Sheikh Anta Diop University. This is in Dakar. This is in Senegal. This here is in West Africa here. The university. Hopefully one day I'll be able to go and visit the University of Dakar or Sheikh Anta Diop University in Senegal. Senegal is a place that I want to be able to visit one day, but it's not the top of the list. At one point in time, North Africa, which I wanted to go to Kemet. This was why, earlier on in my growth and development, but later on as I developed and became more fond of West Africa when I joined the Masawari clan and started digging more into West Africa and finding out, okay, well, majority of the people in America comes from West Africa, and a small percentage of our people come from Central Africa that are African American, but majority are from West Africa. So let me study more about West African culture, these different ethnic groups, their traditions, you know what I'm saying, customs, and etc. And then, so my first travel to Africa is going to be in West Africa. It's going to be the places that I descend from. My ancestors migrated to Nigeria and migrated to Ghana. So I'm going to go to Nigeria and Ghana. Is going to be the first two places I go, and then hopefully I'll be able to go into Senegal, Burkina Faso, because I want to go to Ouagadougou. There's a bunch of places I want to go, and then I'll make my way to East Africa, which will be Kenya, which is where my father's ancestors migrated from Kenya and went into Nigeria. Then I want to go also in East Africa to Uganda, where my mother's ancestors migrated from Uganda into Ghana, Ghana and Sierra Leone. So then I'll make my way into North Africa. Then I want to go to Central Africa. But people knew a few years ago, maybe 2015, it was Kemet. I want to go to Kemet. I actually had the opportunity to go, but something happened where I wasn't able to go. But first is going to be West Africa, East Africa, and then I'll make my way to North Africa to see Kemet. All right, here's another university. This is the University of Dodoma, Tanzania. So here, this is in East Africa here. The University of Dodoma in Tanzania. Here is another university. This is the Makerere University School of Public Health College and Health Science, Mugulu Hospital Complex. This is in Kampala, Uganda. So this is also in East Africa. All right, let's get into, they're not just in Africa, because I know the images are, are animals, and certain places in Africa don't have certain animals at all, Adam, we may talk about that a little bit in throughout the presentation, because I know certain animals people may think, and again, Africa has 54 countries. It's a continent. So, but anyway, and I know they may think we still riding elephants in Africa. We on riding giraffe necks. We riding the camels. Which is not true. So they do have vehicles in Africa. For those that may think that there's no vehicles in the motherland, there are vehicles in the motherland. But we're going to talk about the vehicles that has been manufactured in Africa. Yes, we have manufacturers. We have manufactured facilities in Africa where they manufacturing their own things. So we have a car. This is the Kiriri Smack in Uganda. And even some of the universities or the institutions that I have shown you on different slides, some of those universities also have their hands in helping to these manufacturers, faculties to come up with these certain types of new technology, what I'm saying, for building these cars and etc. So you have here, this is in Uganda. This is the Kira Eve Smack. You know what I'm saying? Nice looking car. And I may be pronouncing the name of the car wrong, but they do have cars there, and they do make and manufacture their own cars in Africa. Here is the Katana SUVs models. These are in Ghana. So these cars have been manufactured in Ghana. I can't particularly remember the name of one of the universities that had a hand in helping with some of these SUVs. But again, these are the Kantanka SUV models here. These are in Ghana, manufactured here in Ghana. All right, you have this nice lit motor Jeep vehicle that also has been manufactured. This is in Kenya. This is in East Africa. Here, this is a Mobis Mobile. This is the Mobis 2. Nice SUV vehicle here, which has been manufactured in Africa. There are several other vehicles that I'm not going to show, but has been manufactured in Africa. So we do manufacture and build our own car in Africa. So we're not riding on camel necks. We're not riding, camels, giraffes, lions, horses. Yes, there are horses in Africa. Yes, there are horses in West Africa. Now we know horses was exported into West Africa. Phones. Yes, you go to Africa, you could talk on phones. These phones here are particularly manufactured in Africa. So we are manufacturing in Africa. We do have science in Africa. We do have the technology in Africa. We do have manufacturing factories in Africa. So these are some of the smartphones here. This is the Mara X model. You have the Mara X model and you have the Mara Z model. You have 16 gigabytes, the Mara X. The Mara Z is the 32 gigabytes, and I think they run off of the Android things, but these phones was made and manufactured in Africa and I can't never spell Rwanda. So these phones are manufactured there. Again, the phones are, I think the RX, yeah, right here is $130 smartphones, and the Z is $190. So they're cheaper than a lot of these smartphones that we particularly get. You know, the iPhones. You know, a lot of people in love with the iPhones. The iPhones running from $600 to $1,000 now. You know, now you get these different Samsung Galaxy. The Galaxies is running down from every bit from five to $1,000 or $1,200, I think. Now, so Africa has smartphones they developed and made in Africa. So they have their own models they made and manufactured here. And also, we know we'll get a little bit further. What goes inside of these phones comes from Africa in order for these smartphones to work. But we'll get, as we go further into the presentation, we'll see. Because again, it is the name of this presentation is what's the first thing pops up in your mind when you think of Africa, and what do Africa has to help sustain the what do Africa has to offer to the whole world. All right, motorcycles. Here are bikes that has been manufactured and produced in Africa. So we are doing our thing in Africa. These are electronic motorbikes from Rwanda. Now, these particular bikes are also, and I put this, after the smartphones, because Rwanda continues to exception recently history invocation of developing with news that the country has launched a model of electric motorbikes and bicycles. So they're trying to get away from the gas and etc. These certain types of things that help, they're trying to be more eco-friendly and etc. More natural. So they're going to these electric bikes. But these bikes, I like, in particular, y'all need to do some research on these bikes. These bikes, you have, in order to have these bikes and these motorbikes, you have to have an app. You have to download an app onto your smartphone just in order to lock, because they have these smart sensors on the tires. In order to unlock the smart sensors on the tires while these things are charging. So you have to download this certain type of app. And this company, I think it's called Safari Limited or something. Yeah, I think it's, let me see. The bikes are businesses are the Safari Limited, local startup company committed to raising substantial and efficient solutions to problems of transportation in East Africa country. So you have to have this certain type of app on your smartphone just to unlock the smart sensors that are tied into the tires on these electric motorbikes that they have manufactured and developed and created in East Africa, So now here is a map here of, you see, this is Africa as a continent. And it's crazy that I have to keep saying this, and I say this a lot. Africa is a continent because people think Africa is a country. You know what I'm saying? It's just one country. It is a continent. You know what I'm saying? With 54 continents on it. So you see the names of all these different countries on here. All these different countries on here. Africa is known to be blessed with numerous natural minerals and rich soils, and there are multiple locations in many countries where you can find these minerals in unimaginable quantities. Read that again. Africa is known to be blessed with numerous natural minerals and rich soils, and there are multiple locations in many countries where you can find these minerals in unimaginable quantities. Hold on, y'all. Make sure everybody is in here that wants to be in here. All right. Most of the panelists. All right. Yeah, to get my brother Vasia in here. But anyway, Africa is known to be blessed with numerous natural minerals and rich soil. I just promoted you to the panel too, Vasa. Numerous natural minerals and rich soils. And there are multiple locations in many countries where you can find these minerals in imaginable quantities. In fact, Africa is a home of the major amount of minerals. Africa is the home to the major amount of minerals deposit of the world. Africa is the home to the major amount of minerals deposit of the world. And this makes room for more natural resource industries in the world located in Africa. That's why you have all these different industries in Africa. This is another reason why they have been pushing propaganda, lies, and negativity to keep you out of Africa, to show you that Africa has nothing to offer. Your people have nothing to offer. They are not doing anything over there. They are pinning over there while they over there, raping and pillaging these countries, raping them for the natural resources, warring and pushing you against your own brethren and kinsmen over there so they can go over there and rape it for the natural resources in the ground, because they understand that there are 7 continents in the world, but most of the natural resources come from out of Africa. Natural damn near sustains the whole world. Hold on, y'all. Africa natural resources. Natural gas is one. 2 is oil. Coltan is another. Copper, nickel, silver, graphite, diamonds, gold, coal, platinum, aluminum, bauxite, tobacco, titanium. Hold on, let me get these up off of here. Appreciate Kevin Hart for subscribing to the channel. Appreciate that, brother. I see it just popped up. You still in here, man. Appreciate you for subscribing. Appreciate those who have already subscribed. Iron ore, phosphite, fish, pozzolanium, timber, tantalum, zinc, marble, tanzanite, so we're going to talk about all these natural resources in a minute. Limestone, gemstone, magnesium, vanadium, chromium, lead, tin, emerald, lead, which I put that on there twice, zirconium, beryllium, cobalt, cement, salt. These are a lot of the natural resources that Africa has. Everybody has less of and need more of. Mapping African natural resources. All right, here is a map of the natural resources in these different countries, just in case you didn't know where all of the natural resources are coming from, because again, Africa is not a country, it's a continent with 54 countries on this continent that we are referring to now as Africa, or whatever you may call this continent. Some people may call it something else, Tamari. Some people may call it Al-Kubalan, which is an Arabic name. Some people may call it whatever, you know. But anyway, here you have this side, everything in green is T. Well, I'm not gonna go on there, but you can look at the side and see, and then you can go back later on if you want to go back later on in the okay, hold on. You want to go back later on in the presentation and pause it and look at what country has what. You can go in, but you see phosphite, iron core, fish, aluminum, diamonds. So these are the different areas. You can go in there later on and look at it. I'm not gonna go through that, which I'll talk about it through a presentation. But oil and gas, and we know that, man, there has been many wars over there on the soil of Africa over oil and gas. You know, we know that there has been propaganda pushed so much in order to make an uproar over here so we can encourage our babies to enlist into the United States of America military and go over here and fight to keep the white Europeans rich and to keep the white Europeans to raping the natural resources over there so they can have all the natural resources and control everything. We so proud. We're so proud of that. We're so proud that our babies are enlisting into the military to go and fight to keep these Europeans rich and to continue to destroy and devastate other countries so we can get the natural resources that they have to offer. So, and people can say what they want to say. I'm not trying to down anybody for being in the military, but my son won't be going into the military, won't be going to fight and then go over there and fight for this country. That's what they so proud. We so proud to say we're going to fight for our country. Now we're going to fight to continue to make the rich counterparts that runs this corporation continue to keep money into their pocket so they can continue to pass generational wealth down from one generation to the next so they can have all the natural resources in the land. So if you have the natural resources in the land, you can control everyone at your beck and call. My son won't be going to fight for this country, then go fight for this country, then come back and still be a nigga, still can't get a loan, still can't get a grant to start a business, still being racial profile, still be gunned down in his own neighborhood for going to visit his sister or his grandmother. No, sir, not mine. But Africa is the home to 5 of the world's top oil producing countries, with an estimated 57% of African exporting earnings from hydrocarbons. Algeria, Angola, Cameroon, Chad, Republicans of the Congo, Egypt, Eritrea, Gabon, Ghana, Kenya, Libya, Nigeria, South Sudan, Tanzania, Mozambique are all rich in oil, gas. All rich in oil and gas. All rich in oil and gas. And we know that is what our kids been programmed to go over there and go get that oil and the gas, go destroy the country and the government. Then we'll come in and assist. We're going to take the natural resource. Then we'll come in and look like the heroes and help reorganize and restructure the country. So these are all the African countries that has oil and gas. I'm saying glass. Proven oil reserves has grown about almost 150%, increasing from 53.4 billion barrels since 1980 to 130.3 billion barrels by the end of 2012, which probably have went up more since then. The region of the homes to five of the top 30 oil producing countries in the world, and nearly 2/10 of investments are expected by 2036. Other resources. Besides oil and gas, Africa is rich in priceless minerals and forests and diamonds in Angola, Botswana, Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic, where they love diamonds. Gold in Benin, Burkina Faso, Djibouti, Mali, South Africa, and Tanzania. Nickel and uranium in Burundi. Botswana and Cape Verde. Fish, Comoros, Guyana-Bissau, Maltese, Senegal Tombs, the Sango Principles, Senegal, Seychelles, I guess I'm saying that right, timber, Liberia, titanium, Gambia, graphite, Madagascar, tobacco, Mawali, iron ore, Mauritania, phosphite, Western Sahara, and Morocco, alumina and gas, Guyana, Mozambique, copper, Uganda, and Zambia. 1. Nigeria. Let's talk a little bit about some of these minerals. We talked about the oil and the gas. I mentioned those minerals, those natural resources that grows in the ground over there in Africa that they over there getting. And this is in Niger. Rich in uranium, coal, cement, gold, this country has been the home to the largest underground mines in the world. So when you see them setting up these different mines over here in these different African countries, they in here mining, they trying to get those natural resources. They're trying to get those natural resources. So you will see a lot of them come over there, and take over the country. Then get these people to go in and work for them for a little or nothing. And these mines working them damn near to death over there in their mines so they can mine and get these natural resources so they can take these natural resources back and become wealthy. These different corporations that's going in and stuff. So you got rich in uranium. So Niger is rich in uranium, coal, cement, and gold. This country has been the home to the largest underground mines in the world where one extracts uranium. Lately, Niger has received a lot of benefits from selling their um, raw materials on the world market, even though uranium still brings them the biggest income. And some of these people I give my hats off to. Oh, no, 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 sir. No, sir. You're not coming in here. No, sir. You're not coming in here taking nothing. We'll go in, we'll do the work, or have you to come and help us do the work. We'll give you a percentage, but we're going to make the most money out of it. We're going to benefit, not you. You're not going to come in my country, take the resource, you benefit for us, and we still ain't got a pot to piss in. Now, some of these countries, they ain't having it. They ain't having it. The world, even though uranium still brings them the biggest income, Niger supplies 44% of the African uraniums all over the world, and as these make the country one of the richest in the minerals. 40% of all Niger exports from uranium trades, which helps increase the national economics. Being the natural radioactive mineral, uranium is useful, successful in producing for nuclear weapons. So these are why they're going in getting the uranium. They are using these uranium, this natural resource that is in Africa, which is in Niger, for these nuclear weapons. This is why Korea and China mostly benefits from Niger natural resources and trading with them. So we know China is in Africa now. We know they all over Africa. You know, they're trading with Africa. They're doing certain things for Africa. Africa is benefiting from certain types of things with China. They got this trade thing that's been going on for a long time. This is one of the things that they're getting right here, this uranium for these nuclear weapons and etc. So mostly benefits from Niger natural resources, trading with them. Apart from the minerals, Niger also many other useful ones, stock like coal. Coal is there in Niger. We're just not talking about uranium, but coal is there. Gold is in there. We know gold is a high commodity, and cement. The whole mineral potential of Niger has really attracted a lot of buyers to the country where they can export their resources. All right, Nambia, uranium, diamond, zinc, lead, sulfur, salt, tantalite, and copper. This is Nambia. Nambia, again, is rich in uranium. Nambia also has uranium. Nambia has diamonds, zinc, lead, sulfur, salt, tantalite, and copper. Here is another country which is a productive uranium supplier. In fact, it proudly holds the fourth place in the world at uranium. China's biggest investments on the African continent is their mining companies in Namibia, which specialize in uranium. It is established that 15 million pounds of uranium oxide can be produced out of Namibia resources. International companies are investing in the country's uranium resources for the production of energy. Uranium was the first discovered in the desert Namibia, and the exploitation began in 1960. All right, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, another country in Africa, rich in copper, cobalt, diamonds as well, oil, coltan, gold, and in the DR has one of the richest deposits of mineral resources. Since the 1960s, the Democratic Republic of the Congo has been known for its mineralization as one of the most industrialized countries in Africa. In 2010, the government made a decision to suspend the mining of the minerals because they had to investigate the legalities of the treasure's theft. In 2011, about 20 foreign miners enterprises were functioning in the country. DRC, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is endowed with oil, copper, coltan, cobalt, gold, diamonds, and other natural resources. Coltan. Coltan is one of the minerals that is used in the smartphones. So, in order for you to use your smartphones, you have to have this certain type of mineral in the phone called coltan. And this is the place where they get it. This coltan is not only a natural resource in Central Africa, which in this country, Democratic of the Congo. We'll talk about other places where coltan also is in Africa. But coltan is one of the minerals that most of us on here now has coltan again Most of us here that is using these smartphones, most of us have smartphones these days. The mineral inside the phone comes from Africa, a place that they tell you they don't go, a place that they tell you that is a cesspool, a place that they tell you that AIDS come from, a place that they tell you that people are eating each other, a place that they say that people are not intellectual, a place that they say science and technology is a place that they just push all kind of garbage, all kind of propaganda to try to keep you away from that, to keep from you from being inspired by this country, the people that are doing great things and the people that come there, and why they went over there and got these people in the first place and bring them over here to to build them a so-called great country. Zambia, another African country, rich in copper, emeralds, cobalt. If you want to know what the richest African country in copper, we have a lot of that over here. We have a lot of that in the homes, in the businesses where they use the copper, up under the houses. Copper is, and it is beyond dispute, Zambia is known for being a #1 copper producer and supplier. It produced 77% of African copper. Zambia is also a place where copper belt and a mass copper production region it is situated. Also, this country has the biggest underground mine on the whole continent, which has 10,000 workers. Generally, this mine produces about 300,000 tons of African copper annually. There are another mineral in Zambia production, of which are smaller than copper, but still quite impressive. Excuse the misspelling. These are emblems of cobalt. We're going to get into cobalt in a minute. South Africa, rich in diamonds and gold. The whole world is aware that South Africa economic has risen in the past couple of decades because of the rich mineral industrials, especially in natural resources and precious minerals. There are a large amount of diamonds and gold deposit in South Africa, and they have really contributed to the nation's development. According to the historical fact, the Anglo Boer War broke out because people have discovered huge deposits of gold and went water rans. The mineral industrials annual adds 20% of the GDP of South Africa, and the income per year is approximately 550 billion rands. Apart from gold and diamonds, which South Africa is so popular for, there is a plenty of other minerals like platinum, copper, uranium, vanadium, coal, chromium, iron, zirconium, nickel, and many others. South Africa is surely a wealthy country in mineral resources, which the nation owns its development to. Mozambique, another country in Africa, rich in aluminum. Mozambique is a diverse country when it comes to natural resources because it has got a lot of them. But the most common natural resource mineral in this country is without doubt aluminum. The annual production of its approximately is 580,000 tons, which is a huge number, consequently in the form of 30% of the country's export. Besides aluminum, Mozambique exports beryllium and tantalum all over the world. Mozambican soil is rich in limestone, cement, marbles, gemstones, coal, iron, gold, oil, gas, and steel. Mozambique, this country in East Africa, man, has plenty of natural resources that help sustain other countries. Marbles, gemstones, coal, iron, gold, oil, gas, and steel, aluminum as well. All of these minerals have made the economics of the country more stable, and their production have become really active in the past years. Guyana, rich, another country in Africa, rich in bauxite. The important part of Guyana natural potential of bauxite, which is the country clearly holds leadership in actually the production of bauxite really contributes to the production of aluminum. Bauxite is an important ingredient of aluminum. Guyana is clear leader of the bauxite potential and export, producing 95% of the entire bauxite production of Africa. The country is followed by Mozambique and Ghana, respectively, except for Guyana, which production the natural ingredients for aluminum. All of the other countries use the synthetical made production. Tanzania, another country in Africa, rich in tanzanite. So Tanzania got its own natural resource named after it, tanzanite. And this is on the side. This is pretty too. This is the tanzanite here on the right hand side here. Tanzanite, but Tanzania, rich in tanzanite, rich in gold, diamonds, and silver. As the name of the country implies, Tanzanite is the only supplier in the world of the rare gemstone called Tanzanite. Except from that, the country also produces gold. And the fourth richest country in Africa in terms of gold. Throughout the decade, the gold mining industry of Tanzania fluctuated. This was happening until the 90s when some famous foreigner company decided to invest in Tanzania treasure. Nowadays, they have the standard mining multiplied to enhance the investments of developing in their resources, while agriculture is the largest contribution to the economics in country. The gold and Tanzanite trade does too. Minerals export really helps to boost the Tanzanite economics condition. So they have a rare gemstone named after them, Tanzanite. Ghana, another country in Africa, rich in gold, bauxite, diamonds, manganese, crude oil, silver, and salt currently. Ghana is second largest producing of gold in Africa. Ghana can owe their success to establishing more golden mines with modern faculties. There are about 90 enterprises which specialize in gold mining. Ghana exports its gold abroad, and this helps to enhance their economics. Botswana, another country in Africa, rich in diamonds, copper, coal, soda ash, and nickel. This country economics highly depends on mining, and this is why the mining industry there is in the process of development. Botswana has a huge resource in gem diamonds. This is the main focus of its export. It has become the largest supplier of diamonds, which trade with many countries all over the world, even though the main competitors of the country in the spirits are diamonds in Angola. We know Angola in Central Africa has diamonds as well. Botswana still holds a major place among the known diamond producers in Africa. Except the diamonds, the country is also leading in coal production, which in turn is used for the production of the synthetic fuel. So most of the people, these jewelers, they go to Central Africa, to the Democratic Republic in Angola, but most of the export comes from out of Botswana, where they go and get their diamonds from. Most valuable natural resources in Nigeria. These are clearly oil and gas. Nigeria is one of the biggest oil producers. Oil. You can find marble, clay, tantalite, salt gold, coal, uranium, and gemstones in different locations throughout the country. So it's not only has gas and oil, it has clay, tantalite, salt, gold, coal, uranium as well. The different locations throughout the country. We only hope that the rich natural resources in Africa country will help them raise their economic and conquer poverty. The exporting of valuable minerals can significantly enhance the economic states of the country and in turn the whole continent. Hopefully it happens soon and the people are responsible for their natural resources will be able to find a proper use for them. because we know some of these countries are saying, no, 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 no. You're not going to come in here, rape us for our natural resources, and you develop all these riches off of it, and we still running around here. We ain't got a pot to piss in the winter to throw it out of. But you have some countries where these enterprises, these big corporation shells come in and rape them of the natural resources, and those corporations are benefiting from it, and the country is not benefiting from it at all. The Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference in 1884 through 1885 marks the climax of the European competition for the territory in Africa. So we're talking about the Berlin Conference. If you want more information about the Berlin Conference, when you get some free time, go to the archives on here. I talk about them scrambling for Africa territory, them slicing and dicing Africa up. And this is the reason why they going in for the natural resources. You know, these guys was fighting each other for these natural resources. Well, then let's come together. Let's put a conference together, and let's come up on who gonna get what. So the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885 marked the climax of the European competition for territory in Africa. The process is commonly known as the scrambling for Africa. During the 1870s and the early 1880s, European nations such as the Great Britain, I don't even know why I put Great. And a lot of times when I see stuff with Great associated to some European name or some European country, I usually take the Great off of there. But British, France, Germany begins looking for Africa for natural resources for their growing industrial sector, as well as potential markets for the goods these factories producing. As a result, these governments sought to safeguard their commercial interests in Africa and began sending scouts to the continent to secure treaties for indigenous people or their supposed representatives. Similar, Belgium King Leopold II, who aspired to increase his personal wealth by acquiring African territory, hiring agents to lay claims to the vast tracts of lands in Central Africa. To protect Germany's commercial interests, Germany Chancellor Otto von Bismarck, who was otherwise uninterested in Africa, felt compelled to the state's claims of Africa. This is like one of the slides from that presentation. The Berlin Conference, inevitable scramble for the territory, led to the conflict among European powers, particularly between the British and the French in West Africa, Egypt, particularly between British and French in West Africa. So they fighting over West Africa and Egypt, the Portuguese and British in East Africa, and the French and King Leopold in Central Africa. Rows between Britain and France led to the Bismarck between the intervenes in the late 1884. He called a meeting to the European powers in Berlin. So this is where they became together and they strategized on who will have what part of the other land and what country and what natural resources, because they was fighting over the natural. These Europeans are land these countries that do not belong to them coming in and trying to get these natural resources for their own benefit. So we know what they did when they went into these different countries. That's why when I showed you these pictures at the beginning, what is the first thing pop up in your mind when you think of Africa, when you start to see some of these devastated areas where these people are hungry, these people live in impoverished areas, and how can this country or areas be impoverished and starving and hungry if they got all these damn natural resources? Where are the natural resources going from? We're going to these Europeans who have come in, raped and pillaged, destroyed and dissect and divided these places, then push propaganda on us that Africa ain't nothing but a fucking shithole. Excuse my French. You know, your president y'all proud of said these shithole places. You know, some of these places are shithole places. It's crazy to me. But anyway, Berlin Conference, the purpose of the Berlin Conference in 1884 was to request the Portugal German Chancellor Otto von Bismarck to call together the major Western powers of the world to negotiate questions and end confusions over the control of Africa. Bismarck appreciated the opportunity to expand Germany's spheres and influence over Africa and desired to force Germany rival structures within the territory. These are my references, my sources. Again, I don't mind you scrutinizing, going through my sources, but these are the sources that I use. I know I'm about to the sources that I that I use. So again, I hope those that may had in the beginning those pictures that I showed you, those pictures that people when mentioning Africa may look at as bad. I hope that you have a different vision of your homeland, our motherland, Africa. Now, again, I know through the conditioning of Christianity, Islam, through the European educational system um, that is being provided for us and our babies. Um, I know this is where we get these images from through Hollywood with the different movies, the cartoons, what I'm saying, with the bad imagery, news, the news media outlets. So I hope you have a better outlook, a vision on Africa and why they push the propaganda and the lies that they have pushed upon us for so many years, for so many centuries to keep us from repatriating back to Africa or even visiting Africa. Because I know a lot of us, when we get ready to go on vacation, Africa is nowhere on the table. We'll go visit Sicily, we'll go visit London, we'll go to Rome, we'll go to all these other countries, but we won't go visit Africa. And we won't go visit Africa because, again, of the lies and the propaganda that they have pushed upon our people. They have continued to show us over and over bad images of Africa while they are over there living, while they are over there raping the countries for the natural resources, while they are pushing propaganda for our babies to join their military and go over there to fight and destroy these countries so they can take the natural resources right up under them, like we doing something, like we fighting, like these countries are a threat to the United States or and etc. So again, I understand why when I say what is the first thing that pop up in your head. I understand when I have these conversations, people have these negative images of Africa and don't want to go visit Africa because, again, they are illiterate. And not saying I am illiterate to certain things. Illiterate is not a bad word. They have not been educated on Africa because most of them think Africa is just a country. Africa is not a country, it's a continent. Africa has 54 countries, and a lot of those countries are beautiful. And a lot of those countries, most of those countries, sustain these other countries or these other continents because it has the most impressible natural resources in the ground. So they are over there and trying to keep you from over there. They are over there trying to tell you that these people may have been primitive when they wasn't. So you want to raise up and start to understand your own culture and your history and your ancestral lineage, and that okay, well, my ancestors created this, my ancestors created that. Oh, my ancestor educated this person that they said did such and such, or said, oh, okay. So again, I understand all that. I hope everyone appreciated this presentation. I had this presentation since I made it September. Yeah, September. We went October. Yeah, over a month ago. I made the presentation when I made the post on my Facebook page about if you was in another country and your country that you was in showed the United States, and the only thing they showed in the United States was homeless people sleeping on benches, up on the bridges, in boxes, mass shootings in schools, theaters, um, impoverished neighborhoods or ghettos, and they constantly showed that, knowing that that doesn't make up the entire United States of America, but kept showing that image. Then whatever country you would say make statements that it is a shithole country. you will say that, okay, it's United States has nothing else to offer anyone else because your country is continuing to push uh, propaganda, lies, push this certain type of narrative, images, programming over and over through the education system, anti this and the religion, and etc., then you will have the same outlook that most African Americans have on Africa because we are being educated by those who kidnapped our own ancestors and still making it hard for us on this landmass or on this continent that we call the United States of America. But again, I hope y'all appreciate the presentation. I got Vasa on the panel. I got Satep and Ross still on the panel. If y'all got anything, there's some questions in the chat. I'm finna look. I hadn't really been able to look in the chat, but anybody got any questions, comments before I end the show? Y'all still on here? I don't know if they still like might be gone, fam. Well, let me see.
I'm still here.
Okay. Attendees. Oh, Sutek in here too. Was Satep gone? Peace, brother Sutek. I guess he done jumped off here. I guess no comments. Any questions? Y'all got any questions in the chat?
I missed the beginning of the show, but did you, when you was putting this together, did you look at the current any current reports on globalization in Africa, what they calling it, as far as the economy is applied to that word? Or did you just really zoom in on what resources are there and how they've been exploited?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's basically all I did. But I mean, a lot of like I was explaining, a lot of those countries are taking back their natural resources and not being exploited or being worked to death for the natural resources. They are benefiting from those natural resources. But I never did go in too deep into it, boss.
Okay.
Mhm. How you feel about China dipping into Africa? They seem as I mean, but it's this been going on. They back in there, but they was in there earlier. I think they was China was in Africa maybe in the 80s.
They was there in the 14th century.
Yeah, yeah. But they been there, but they had been trying to trade and different stuff. I know in the 60s or the 70s, and then we see, I think over the last maybe 10 years, we see China, or maybe a little bit more than 10 years, they have been heavily in Africa. And we trading again, like they setting up different things in Africa. Uranium, they're trading different, uranium, other different things with Africa. They bringing and building other different China is building other different infrastructures, bringing up a different technology, and I don't know how to. I'm just trying to feel it all out because it could be the same thing. We have did in the past. We have shown ourselves friendly to people, and people have taken our kindness for weakness, and we allow people to come in and we show people certain things, and we give people things because coming from I know a lot of us don't have this perspective anymore, but a lot of these ethnic groups in Africa, it's a tribal thing, you know what I'm saying? It's a clan thing. So it's about if I got, then you got. So we come at people with that same thing, and okay, if I got this, then okay, what's mine is yours. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind sharing these things, but history has shown that we have did that in these, and people have taken our kindness for weakness and taken what we have given them. You see, so I don't know really how to feel about it. I see them doing some things that I like, that they doing in Africa. I see some things that they doing that I don't like. I seen some good things. I seen some bad things. Especially some reports with the Chinamen actually kidnapping women. Um, I hadn't dig deep into that, but I seen some reports on them kidnapping women out of Africa, trafficking women. It's a few other things that I seen that I hadn't dig deep in. I'm just mentioning it. I don't know because I hadn't dig deep. I can't speak too much on that. But I've seen like some of the infrastructure that they doing. I know they had made, they've been meeting with some of the other presidents in different countries. So uh, and it's just hard for me to tell right now. You know, they claiming blackness and joining. Yes, I seen that too. In Nigeria, setting up because they are living over there. They are living over there. So a lot of them are living over there. And then I heard, like I said, you hear so much things even with the Chinamen. You know, China is overpopulated. So now they're trying to make their home into Africa. I heard these things are making their home in Africa. That's why you have a lot of them that are in these different African countries and setting up certain things over there, and they're trying to make Africa their home now because the other places repopulated, and you see that they are now being influenced by African culture, and they're trying to join and be chiefs. I think I seen one of the African ethnic groups make a Chinaman a chief over their tribe. I didn't really dig too deep in it, but I seen some kind of report on that. I didn't read. I don't know, was it an article or it came across some type of news feed that I was looking at. But yeah, it's crazy. China's dipping into Africa for a minute now. Yeah, they've been over there, man, for a minute, man. They've been over there for a minute. Uh, I don't see any more questions, man. But again, like I said, man, share the show with people that you think that may appreciate the presentation. And I say share the show with people that may appreciate the presentation. Someone that's not going to appreciate any of the content that Kofi Paisai TV, families and affiliates may present, or Moxie Warrior Clan uh, information that they may present. If you feel like they may take it for granted or may not appreciate it, don't share it to them. My thing is I'm not in it for the views. Uh, I'm just about sharing and passing down information. My saying, as I learn, we all learn. So I feel like it's my duty when I study stuff. What I'm saying, come across information and cross-examine information, compare information. What I'm saying, and just dig deep in information and get a better understanding of certain things. I feel like I should share the information with the family because a lot of us are being misinformed, not only in the school system, not even in our own community, but we're being informed in the conscious community as well. We've been It's a lot of information out there. So again, me and Kofi Paisai TV research team, the Moxie Warrior Clan, um, we're gonna do presentations, and we're not only gonna do presentations, we're gonna put them in a book form. We're gonna, and we're gonna write articles. So we writers, and there's other groups that I look up to. NBK, they doing the same thing. So one of my favorite YouTube channels for information right now. If I want some information, some accurate information, what I'm saying, automatically NBK is one of the YouTube groups. So I immediately go to their channel. I've been missing a few of their presentations. I got a few of them saved. I just gotta go back and look at a few. But I mostly try to catch them. They come on at times when um, I'm just getting up or finna get in motion, finna get ready to go to the plantation or finna get ready to do something with the fam. So I try to catch them. I try to support them. I hope y'all supporting NBK, but those are one group that I like I said, one of my favorite channels when I think of accurate information, and they come with the primaries. You know what I'm saying? They come with the primaries, they come with the reference, they come with the sources, and that's what we need with the sources. That's why we present our sources as well, because we don't want you to take our word. I don't want you to parakeet, because again, that's what I'm saying. We have brung the parakeet, what I call the parakeet complex. A lot of people in the conscious community have the parakeet complex, the complex that they have coming out of the religion, uh, Christianity or Islam, because most of us in North America prescribe to either those two, Islam or Christianity. And most of us parakeet what the minister or the pastor or the preacher is assimilating to the people. So they are parakeeting them without going to verify what these people are saying to actually be actual and factual. So the conscious social media community is doing the same thing on some of these other platforms. A lot of these platforms not showing references, not NBK is one, Mossy, Kofi Paisai TV, Amin Ra Squad, Dagger Squad, um, the Real Black Atheist on Fire, my big brother channel. So a lot of channels are showing sources and referencing their, they're telling you to source up or shut up, you know what I'm saying? So, but other channels, a lot of channels don't show sources because there a lot of other people are referencing their own selves as the source. It's just a lot of foolishness, man, a lot of craziness going on here. But anyway, um, but appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for the support, and hopefully y'all come back. We supposed to be doing another show. Gonna hit y'all with 2 doses today. I came in and I'm gonna let on Kofi Paisai TV, and I came up the bat, and I'm gonna let what's the name hit the home run this evening on Kofi Paisai TV. I guess Sutik is still doing his presentation today. Nice presentation today. Hopefully he's doing it, but if not, just be on the lookout for Brother Sutek presentation as well as Brother Vasil presentation. Also, go check out the presentation, not the presentation, but the article. The article on the Cimarron today. That's your Brother Vasil. So go check out that presentation, not that article. It's a 34-page article. And again, like I said, when we see issues that go on in the conscious community, social media community, or we see things in our community or things that's not right in our educational system that we see, we're actually not going to go back and forth with anybody. Again, we're going to do a presentation. We're going to put it out there. We're going to put it in the archives where everybody can go back and see it, reference forms, and we're going to put stuff in paper. We're not going to be arguing and cussing and fussing, which we're going to do it the scholarly way. Scholars don't cuss, fuss, and talk about each other. They write papers, they write books, they present, they are presenter. So is the approach that we're going to take over here. So again, like the show, share the show, subscribe to the channels, subscribe to the other channels that I talked about other as well. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got anything else, man? Before I shut it down, Vasil or Sutek, if Sutek came back.
A great show. And as far as that article goes, it shouldn't be thought of as an argument, but more or less a map. It's put together for even children to comprehend and give them a map of certain things to look for. There's plenty of references. I tried to give as many accurate and valid sites that will allow you to gain access to that information for free, but I want you to look at it as a map that's, kind of encompassing a lot of current conversations. More importantly, you're going to see a word repeat itself. I don't want to give it away. I want you to actually read it, but I want you to understand the importance of that word and how it's followed us through time. And to give a hint, it goes into treaties. You have to understand both aspects of how these treaties were formed and what was the effects on them. I'll break a lot of this down from my viewpoint here in the short future. But for right now, read the article and look at it as a map. It was put together solely for something to give your children, to give them a backdrop to a history that we're not taught about. But Kofi, I missed the beginning of the show. If you don't mind me asking before you do close out, what is the first thing that pops in your mind when you think of Africa? I gave you my answer. I'll give it again if you want me to.
My first is family. That's my family.
Yeah.
Family first, respect, good character. You know, a lot of that's what I think. Then after that, then comes the great things that we did when we talk of the pyramid age, the building area, the mathematics, all that comes, you know, afterwards. But for me, family respect and good character when mentioning the Africa. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I showed two parts. I showed the question was, you know, that was the first thing that popped up in your mind. So again, I gave two different perspectives. I showed images from those that are illiterate, which illiterate is not down in anyone, but just somebody that just don't know, you know what I'm saying, just only know something that has been fed to them, hadn't did any thorough research, investigation, or nothing. So I gave the good images from those that I feel like that read, do a little research, you know what I'm saying, or seen a different side, you know what I'm saying, of information. Then I gave the other side, I showed a bunch of imageries of the bad images, and those images are the ones that um are being showed in Hollywood, in the news, um, and in the education system. So I show those as well as in the commercials, because you know, especially with me coming up, I showed an image that I seen my entire uh, adolescence, all the way up until maybe I became 17 or 18. I'm 42 now. I don't see it as much, but I used to see them. I'm talking about every single day, this particular image. And this is what I thought Africa was growing up. You see, even the cartoon that I mentioned that Sister Sophie, yeah, it was on Disney. It was the Disney cartoon that I used to watch on Disney. And when they always associated Africa, this certain image that they showed me and my brother and my cousins that used to watch this cartoon on Disney. So I got all these bad images from the cartoons, the movies, school, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, so I showed both sides of the images. Then I wanted to show the images, show more great images, and then show the technology, you know, and how the intelligence, how intelligent our people are, because our kids dropping out of school at a massive rate because they can't relate to the information. And then all you being taught that you did nothing for society and slavery was a great thing for you, our kids can't relate to that. So I wanted to show that when you mention intelligence, you have to mention black people, or you have to mention Africans, or you have to mention African Americans, or whatever we call ourselves. You have to mention that you are intelligence now. And so I showed what they are doing over there now. They're not riding on horses, camels, mules, and etc. You know, we are developing and manufacturing our own things. So I showed you cars. I could have showed you cars, be the Mercedes and the Ceteras over there. I didn't want to show that. I wanted to show what our people are doing over there right now. They have, because people don't think cars are in Africa. Cars are in Africa, and we have our own manufacturing faculties where we are manufacturing our own cars. So I wanted to show you the cars. I wanted to show you, when you say in intelligence, these people are smart, not primitive. We have universities, so I wanted to show the universities over there. We can talk on phones. They have internet, so I wanted to show you the manufacturing of these phones. The phones, wanted to show you the manufacturing of these motorcycles these motorcycles and bikes, electric bikes that they're using with the smart sensors on the tires that you have to download an app for. We have people that are developing and manufacturing things over there. We have people that are going through the schooling system where we are teaching our kids about science and technology and other things over there. Lord have mercy. Hold on. I'm finna get off. uh, but anyway, but yeah, those are the things. But yeah, I got to get off here. I got something I got to take care of. We may be back at 6 p.m. So be looking for Sutek. He has a nice presentation lined up. Like I said, I just wanted to set Kofi Paisa TV. We hadn't did nothing in 2 weeks, so I want to come up to the mound. You know what I'm saying? And back to back, and Sutek is gonna carry it home with a home run, I guess, this evening. If not, just be look forward to Sutek presentation in the future, as well as Vasa presentation on the Cimarroons. Also, that article that me and Vasa just talked about. You can go to www.kofipaisa.writtencompositions.wordpress.com to get that 34-page article, as well as other articles on my blog site. Again, it is www.kofi, KOFIPIESIE, Kofi Paisa, wordpress.com for that article, as well as other great articles on that page. And be looking forward for a new article maybe in the next 2 or 3 weeks on the matriarch society. I'm going to talk about how we became male chauvinists. Why are people in America male chauvinists and make statements that man is the head of the household? This is a man's world. The woman is a weak vessel and the man is the stronger vessel. This is why God went to the man. So I'm going to write a whole article about matriarchal societies. And there are matriarchal societies in Africa, and not only patriotic societies, but where do we get this patriotic construct as men being dominant over women, and women cannot rule in any aspects of economics, politics, and etc. So be on the lookout for that article. I don't know what I'm gonna call the article, but it's gonna be dealing with some as we becoming male chauvinists today. But be on the lookout for that one as well. We need a better name, Cole. What you talk? What you talk about, CK? Peace to CK forward to peace, sister Sophie as well. What kind of what you talking about, sister CK? Before I jump off here, said we need a better name. She might have jumped up off of here. Wait a second before I go. What kind of name we need? Sis, what you? I don't know what you're saying. Need a better name, Kofi. Yeah. But go subscribe to CK the Poet channel. Also go to her. She has a blog site where she has articles. I can't remember the name of it. Your word. Oh, so she. Oh, you don't like Kofi Paisa written compositions, CK? But yeah, I could have took the WordPress out of it. It could have been a straight .com, because I don't have the free WordPress. You can get the free WordPress, but
yeah, I was trying to drop the link in here, but it's too big to fit in the chat box.
No, she's saying who? No, I was saying what you saying. We need a better name, Sister CK. I was saying yes, you need a different name. Need to be sure. Well, I can't help it. If you go and look in the archives on Kofi Paisa TV or Massive Warrior Clan, my names and titles are just too long. Even the book that I'm working on right now, it's a long title. It's a long title, you know. And then this other one that I'm gonna be working on soon. It'll have a shorter name. It's What is African Culture. So this book here is going to be basically a lot of things from articles from both. I mean, it's going to be my articles as well as my presentations that I have did on both channels, consolidating the information, and it's actually going to be a guide to those who may be illiterate to African cultures, traditions, and customs, and give them a better understanding of African culture, walk them through the mind of these different ethnic groups, understanding these different ethnic groups, why they do some of the things that they do, whether you agree with it, whether you disagree with it. The things that I think that we can update and we can utilize now, which everybody knows the rites of passages is one thing for me. a thing that I think that we need to start to implement more into our community. But some of those things need to be updated uh, up into this century. But a lot of those ideals are great ideals. We just need to expound on those different ideals um, as well. But anyway, yeah, CK, that's y'all go check out CK's in there. She just put it in there. So go check out hers as well. I'm all for promoting the people that I like, love, and respect. And this sister, uh, I respect the little sister. She just popped up on the scene just out of nowhere. CK done popped up out of nowhere. She everywhere now. And my first encounter with Sister CK was on the Unk show. She actually expired. I don't know if she know it or not. I don't know if she looked at it or not. But her and another individual name that I'm not going to speak on, because I don't know I really don't know this person. But they expired me to do a show uh, on the Mossy. It was on the Mossy about a month ago, month and a half ago. I don't know what the name of it was, a known name, but it was comparing Western religion to African traditions, the mindsets of Westerners, the certain things that happen, different words, derogatory words used when we talk about certain traditions. When we mention that, just comparing certain things, names, what certain names mean, just all kind of stuff. It's a good presentation. Go check that presentation out. I can't remember the name of the presentation, but anyway, I'm rambling. Appreciate y'all for tuning in to Kofi Paisai TV. If you hadn't subscribed to Kofi Paisai please TV, please go and subscribe right now. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because if I'm not doing anything, I got a good group of brothers. I need to change the name to Kofi Paisai TV Families and Affiliate because most of the brothers that you see on the panel with me, particularly all the time, even not on Kofi, on my, you know, we have Vasa Nicolo Gullah, you know what I'm saying? A great brother. I respect, he's family. Um, Sutek, he's a new family and affiliate of Kofi Paisai TV. He's done a few presentations on Kofi Paisai TV. So, be looking for that, keep checking for that brother as well as Vasa have done a few on Kofi Paisai TV. Satep and Ra. You already know my brother Any Harret Sean Calfana. He's kind of been a little IA when I've been going live a little bit, but that's cool because we've been doing this for the past 3 years. And when you see Any Harret Sean Calfana, you see Kofi Paisai. So it's cool. He got some other stuff going on right now. So shoot, I can't be mad for him since he been rocking with me for the last 3 years. Every time I do something, he right there to support. Every time he do something, I'm right there to support. Every time somebody gets sideways, I'm right there to protect my brother too. But anyway, uh, T'Challa Bangara also is a Kofi Paisai TV affiliate family. He has some stuff on here. You can check it out. So if I'm not coming live and doing anything, you have a few good people that have been on the platform with me. Most of the time I go live from either channel that's going to be presenting information. It's not going to be no foolery. It's not going to be no foolishness. It's not going to be no chaos. These guys are very professional. You know what I'm saying? They're good at what they do. That's why I like them. That's why I have them around me because they good at what they do. They inspire me. They inspire me and they motivate me. So I got to have people around me that inspire me and motivate me and push me to be better than I was yesterday. But anyway, hopefully we'll be back this evening with another presentation. If not, we'll see y'all next week. Also, go subscribe to the Mossy Warrior Clan channel. If you hadn't subscribed to this channel, please go subscribe to that because I'm always back and forth from Kofi Paisai TV to the Mossy Warrior Clan channel. So please go subscribe, hit the notification bell for both of those channels. And we out, man. Black African Power, man. And see y'all later on this evening. Peace. I'm still, yeah, peace.
Man in the full knowledge of himself is a superb and supreme creature of creation. When man becomes possessed
possessor of the knowledge of himself. He becomes master of his environment, the captain of his own ship, the director of his own destiny, the accomplisher of his own ends. Man should understand himself because man is full of knowledge, and this knowledge is a gift of nature. When Mother Nature created man, she deprived him of nothing. He was given the faculty of understanding all things around him. This faculty for understanding has not been taken away from him. None of his senses have been taken away from him. So there is no excuse for the black man.
I'm ripping my team, red, black, and green. Queens and kings, salute, now scream. I share, I share. I'm ripping my team, red, black, and green. Queens and kings, salute, now scream. I share, I share.